You're not behind in life, sweetheart. You're just comparing your chapter to someone else's highlight. Now I want you to sit with that for a moment, because that one habit right there has been stealing your peace. You look around and it seems like everybody's moving ahead. Somebody's got the career you want. Somebody's figured things out sooner. Somebody's already where you thought you'd be. And quietly, you start telling yourself, I should be there by now. I'm running out of time. I've fallen behind. But darling, you're measuring your real life against someone else's best moments. And that will always feel unfair, because you don't see what it took for them to get there. You don't see the confusion, the failed attempts, the slow seasons, the moments they doubted themselves too. You only see the part they chose to show. And then you turn around and judge your entire life against that one snapshot. That's a heavy thing to carry. Now listen carefully. There is no universal timeline for life. No clock that says, you must have this by this age. You must figure this out by this moment. That's something we create in our minds, and then we suffer trying to keep up with it. But your life, it has its own rhythm, its own pace, its own unfolding. And when you rush that, you don't move faster. You just feel worse. Now I want you to think about this. What if nothing is wrong? What if you're not late, but simply still becoming? Because becoming takes time. Confidence takes time. Clarity takes time. Direction takes time. And the stronger those things are, the longer they take to build. You wouldn't rush something you want to last, would you? So why rush yourself? Now I know the world moves fast. Everything tells you, go quicker, do more, catch up. But fast doesn't always mean right, and slow doesn't mean failure. Sometimes slow means you're learning properly. Sometimes slow means you're building something real. Sometimes slow means you're not skipping steps. And those steps, they matter more than you realize, because they shape you, they prepare you, they make sure that when you do arrive, you can actually stay there. Now let me ask you something, darling. How often have you looked at someone else's life and assumed they were ahead? But you don't know what they're dealing with behind the scenes. You don't know what they sacrificed to get there. You don't know if they're even happy where they are. Comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it distorts your perspective. It makes you feel behind even when you're exactly where you need to be. So instead of looking sideways, start looking inward. Ask yourself, am I growing? Am I learning? Am I moving forward even a little? Because that's what matters. Not speed, direction. Now here's the truth. You don't need to be ahead of anyone else. You just need to be honest with your own path. And when you are, something shifts. The pressure softens. The noise quiets. The urgency fades. And you start to feel steady again, grounded, present. And from that place, you make better decisions. You take better steps. You move with intention instead of panic. Now imagine what would happen if you stopped comparing for a moment, if you stopped measuring your life against someone else's timeline, if you just focused on your next step, your next improvement, your next small win, that's where confidence grows. Not in keeping up, but in showing up again and again, quietly, consistently, until one day you look back and realize you were never behind. You were building something that just took time, and now it's yours, solid, real, and earned. So stop rushing yourself, sweetheart. You're not late. You're right on your path.